and thanks again for clicking into another one of our very short Zoom interviews with the groups that we fund. We've got Sharon Doherty with us from St Column's Park House and CRC Fund St Column's Park House through our Core Fund programme. Many of the groups that we support have been working hard during the crisis to keep communities connected. And many have been demonstrating great resilience and creativity by moving and pivoting their business model and their way of working, transitioning to having to do something completely different. Some of that includes using new technology. So Sharon's here with us today. Sharon and the team there at St Column's have been working hard during the pandemic to keep communities connected. So Sharon, can you give us just a quick insight into what you've been doing during the crisis to keep communities connected?
No problem. Morning, Peter. So St Column's Park House have been working with a lot of various communities and community groups for quite a long time, and spent a long time building those relationships and getting people to trust the work that we do and to value the work and to participate in that work. And so when the lockdown came, the key priority for us was to reassure those communities that we were still there. We hadn't gone away, that we just hadn't pulled the plug on everything that we were doing. And so for us, that key priority was to make sure that they could see us and know that we were still there and there to help and support them. And that support just came in a different way. And at the start, we weren't really sure what that would look like. And so we spent a bit of time talking amongst ourselves, trying to figure out how best could we continue our work. And some of it just wasn't possible. But one of the things that we did first off was to get involved in supporting and trying to establish a bank of volunteers in some of the communities, particularly in the interface community that we work in. And if consultation is kind of too big and too strong a word, but what we did as part of building that bank of volunteers and working with them to help and support them deliver the food parcels that were available, we tried to do some form of consultation chat, basically, and establish what the needs were. And very quickly, what we were hearing from some of those people that were volunteering was the struggles that they had with homeschooling. And that was on a number of levels. One, they weren't confident that they themselves had the skills to support their kids. They didn't have access to enough devices in the house to be able to support all of the kids at various times. So homeschooling became quite a challenge for them. Kids that weren't on the device were being disruptive, and the kids that were on the device didn't really want to do the work, and the parents couldn't. So anyway, one of the things that we thought about doing was to try and support that with some sort of recreational learning pack or activity pack. And we chatted to some of the parents that were helping with the food parcels and the sort of things that the kids would like from the different age groups. We very quickly established 3 age groups, and we've been delivering a weekly pack that includes craft activity, learning activity, and one of the things was they all did a COVID time capsule. They did the Help Out at Home project. And one of the most successful things that we've done is a pen pal project. So we went old school, if you like. And so we're working with across the interface. And what we did was we put out a wee thing saying, would you like to communicate with a person in another community? Tell them about yourself and what you do, and da 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 da. We had quite a good response to that. So we've been exchanging letters across the interface with 9 to 12-year-olds. And I mean, obviously we just set the form every week, and we give them kind of the outline of what they should include. So that's been great, and that's kept kind of a more personal contact rather than a virtual one. And I think at this stage now we've delivered about 1,300 packs across the last 10 weeks to kids in both communities. So I think that's definitely been great and very much appreciated. The parents are a little bit more relaxed because the kids have an activity that they know they will get. We delivered books one week, and we've going to set up now 2 wee free libraries in each community so they can swap those books about. One of the other things I think that we've done just to try and keep things going is one of our other projects works with some very vulnerable young adults, and again with high levels of anxiety and just a cocktail of different issues. And again, we just felt we couldn't withdraw that the support, it just couldn't shut off. So we've continued to support them almost on a daily basis with daily check-ins with them every morning, and WhatsApp at night time just to make sure everything's going okay. We've been delivering their learning packs. They're working on a series of different qualifications, and good relations is one of them. And we've been delivering small bite-sized chunks on a weekly basis just to keep them motivated to continue with their learning. And we've also been supporting them with food packs as well. And I mean, these are vulnerable young adults, 18 to 22. A lot of them have never cooked for themselves before. So it's one thing to give them the food, but what do they do with it? And to make sure that they're, using it effectively. So we're supporting them with the food and a recipe, and then Zoom call just to say, right, this is what you do, here's the technique, and so they've been sending their pictures of what they've been cooking.
Very good.
So, and that sort of motivated them as well. Yeah. So,
Sharon, that sounds as if you've got a whole range of activity going on there, using the WhatsApp groups, using the Zoom, helping people by delivering food parcels and activity packs and those kind of things. So a whole range of ways of keeping people engaged and involved in the work that they're doing with you. Is there anything that you could say from those examples of practice that has been a key learning point that you might want to share with some other groups, something that's maybe worked particularly well and you would encourage them to try, or something that's maybe hasn't worked so well that they should avoid?
I think for us, we tried to keep the virtual stuff to a minimum because people are, zoomed out and quizzed out and all that sort of stuff. So we tried to keep that to a minimum, and to have where we could that face-to-face contact, even if it was across the garden fence where you're delivering a food parcel and just a wave on the window, or a chat or whatever. I think the main thing for us that really stood out in this whole process to date was how the communities rallied during the crisis, and how people actually stepped up and volunteered, and the enthusiasm and the energy and the skills that became apparent in those communities was really overwhelming. And really the challenge now for us as a community organisation working out in those communities is how do we harness that going forward. So that for us is a real key learning point, that each of those communities had a wealth of skill that we hadn't seen before, and they stepped up and they rallied around, and those skills were shared across those two communities. So our challenge is how do we harness that and maintain it going forward?
And Sharon, that's a good question, and I'm sure that we'll look forward to hearing more about your thoughts on that and the experience as this work continues and progresses. So thanks very much for doing the interview with us.